Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we will be looking at a problem that has been affecting is part of Nigeria. I mean the northern part. And in this northern part we are focusing mainly on the northeast and the northwest. This problem we are talking of here is a problem of insecurity from the angle of terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and what have you. And even on this insecurity aspect that we are looking at, we are narrowing it down to as it affects the girl child education. Okay, I am focusing on this aspect because I know the importance of female empowerment. I know the goodness, the good things that a society where female, the girl child, are empowered educationally and with all the economic empowerment, the progress that follows in such society. So that's why I am focusing on this insecurity aspect as it affects Nigerian girl child education in the northeast and the northwest. Um, In order not to make this video too long, I will be displaying three medias, which I will come back and, speak on, give my analysis. After which we will progress. I mean, we'll move further in this video. So let's sit back and watch these three medias.
Hundreds of protesters took to the streets in Nigeria on Monday, calling on the government to intensify its search for around 200 schoolgirls abducted by Islamist militants 3 weeks ago. The crowd began their march at a popular bus stop in Lagos and later gathered outside the state government house, waving banners and chanting, "Bring back our girls." They're angry that the government has not acted quickly enough to find the girls and return them to their families.
What we are here to do is to let the government know that they should declare the identity of the kidnappers and release our daughters. This is not too much an assignment for Nigeria to do.
In a harrowing incident, unidentified gunmen attacked a high school in northwest Nigeria and kidnapped 25 schoolgirls, killing at least one staffer. A rescue mission has been launched by a team of police officers and military forces, together with local volunteers. Rescue teams are currently focused on combing forests in the area and on routes taken by the gunmen. According to a police spokesperson, the assailants were armed with sophisticated weapons and exchanged fire with guards before abducting the girls. Police say the boarding school girls were taken from their dorms at 4 a.m. local time on Monday. The school from where the girls are abducted is in Kebbi State.
Okay, welcome back. Now, the three clips we just watched. The first one, was on the famous Shibor girls. These Shibor girls that were kidnapped by the Boko Haram terrorist group in 2014. That was the first time that such scale of kidnapping of school children happened. I think that I can remember that I've ever heard of in the history of Nigeria. And that went viral. The protest, the hashtag bring back our girls. That was in 2014. Yeah, girls were innocent young school girls were kidnapped and taken into the bush by terrorist organization. Till today, some of these girls are yet to be returned back to their parents. Okay. Then the other clip that was displayed, which showed Punch newspaper reporting of the 100 plus guests that were kidnapped in 2018 in Dapchi, in a place called Dapchi in Yobe State. Okay, that was under the government of the late Muhammad Buhari. After that, a couple of years later, coming to this year 2025, we watched another report of this one happened not quite long of 25 girls that were kidnapped in their school in a place called Maga in Kebbi State. Now, the question, one question that has been bothering my mind that I think I'm placing out here is what has been the lessons that the Nigerian government has learned in all these kidnappings, especially after the first one, the second one? What were the lessons learned and what were the measures put in place to prevent a reoccurrence to the extent that the third one, which is the MAGA school girls, 25 girls, you know, kidnapping happened. Now, now that after this, yes, we've heard that the Nigerian government has secured the release of these recent 25 school girls, just like that of the Dapchi school girls in 2018, were majorly their release were also secured, but there was one that was not released till today, that has not been released till today. That's Leah Sharibu. According to reports, it was alleged that she refused to convert her Christian faith to Islam. Okay. Yeah, we know that the Nigerian government has been trying, they have been doing a lot in combating this insecurity problem, this crisis. But I think our government needs to do more, do much more. The federal government needs to do much more in combating such crimes, put measures in place to prevent such ugly occurrence from ever taking place in the country. All right? Our government needs to declare a total war because these people who have declared war, either directly or indirectly, on the Nigerian state. So our government need to declare a total war militarily on these criminal elements that are dragging the country back. All right. Now, if we should look at it, why one major reason again why this is so, I mean, this topic is, I'm so passionate about it is, like I said earlier on, girl child education is very important in a society. Let's look at Nigeria today. Nigeria is said to be as in the poverty capital of the world because statistically Nigeria has the highest number of poor people, extreme poor people in the world. When you bring that to Nigeria, look at it from the north and the south, you will discover that majority of these poor people in Nigeria are domiciled in the far north, northeast and northwest, where this insecurity issue is very, very firmly rooted. Although this issue has also trickled down to North Central, but then since we are focusing on girl child education, the major incidents of attacking school girls, kidnapping school girls that have been reported are taking place mostly in the northeast and the northwest. Now, looking at the poverty rate, one we realize that in south you have lesser poverty incidents compared to the north. Why is it so? It is so because the female folks in the south are contributing a lot, productively, economically, educationally, technologically to the progress, to the development of the society in the South when compared to their northern counterparts. Because the female child in the north are as in they are educated, their level of being given access to education is lesser when compared to that of the South. And ultimately, it will have an effect on the society in terms of, because they will not be they will not be properly productive from economics, educationally, and otherwise. Okay? Then again, looking at North, looking at Nigeria, Nigeria has this high rate of out of school children. From UNICEF reports to Nigerian Bureau of Statistics reports, statistically, Nigeria is said to have about from I think 18 to 20 million out of school children. That's a very, very massive number. Bring that, break that down, north and south, you will discover that 15 million plus of those kids that are out of school are in the north. Now, a region that is having this huge number of out of school children is facing attack of one part of the education of facing attack on the education of one gender, the female gender, which we also further, make the problem of out of school children in the north to deteriorate, to worsen further. Let's not forget that some of those kids, those girls that are being kidnapped or that have been kidnapped, we have this trauma after the incident of perhaps not wanting to go to school anymore. Some of them will live with this trauma for life. Even after passing through therapy sections, they will still live with this trauma for life. Okay? So our government needs to double their effort, if not triple their effort, militarily. Thank God there has been a kind of rejig in the security architecture whereby a former chief of defense staff has recently been appointed as the minister of defense. That is a round peg in a round hole by the government. Yes, a technocrat militarily is now heading the Ministry of Defense. Okay? When they will be in fact this will go a long way in helping because when they will be discussing their security tactics and all that, they will all be on the same page. The Minister of Defense and the service chiefs. All right. So that's on the aspect of our government at the federal level in terms of doing a lot. They need to triple their effort. They are trying, yes. They are doing a lot. They are working, yes, but they need to triple the effort, not even double, triple their effort in order to eradicate this malaise or is it this problem from our society. Okay. Also, the north, the northern region, the northeast and the northwest, it seems as if they are creating a fertile ground for such insecurity crises and such problems to take firm root in their area, either consciously or unconsciously or directly or indirectly. It seems they are encouraging it. Now I'll be playing two videos, which after we finish watching these two videos, we'll come back and speak to them, analyze them to show how it seems that the northern communities and their leaders are kind of encouraging directly or indirectly, consciously or consciously by their activities, you know, creating fertile ground for such all those for those criminal elements, criminal activities to thrive. Let's take a look at these two videos.
The wife of Zamfara State Governor Hurera Lawang who is the ambassador of Zakat and Endowment Board, described the initiative as collective commitment to supporting the state's most vulnerable families. She emphasized that supporting newly married orphans with household items, settling their debts, and providing business startup opportunities will help them make sound financial decisions and open pathways for personal and economic growth.
This occasion highlights our collective commitment to supporting the most vulnerable in our communities: widows, orphans, needy families, and all those who require assistance to live with dignity. Under the administration of His Excellency Governor Dauda Lawal, our state continues to prioritize the welfare programs that uplift our people and reduce hardship.
We married out 200 couples, 100 women and 100 men. So this one is part of the efforts and what the executive governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, is insisting, and that is why he is calling his government government of rescue, so that we can reduce the poverty in the state.
The second leg of my question regarding insecurity is that we have seen, northern governors negotiating with bandits, paying ransom, and even advocating for amnesty programs. Now, does the Arewa Consultative Forum support negotiating with, bandits or terrorists, or do you believe that the approach should be purely military?
As I understand it, there is a very fierce debate in the North now between those who believe that you do not win this kind of problem with only military approach, and those that believe that you can win by talking, by negotiating, by consultation. The debate is still there. It's out there. The jury is still out. But I understand a mixture of the two has been used successfully in quite a number of places already. So maybe in the end, this has to be put together and applied. But I remember very well when there was an amnesty program in the Niger Delta, during those chaotic times, and it has worked perfectly. They were given amnesty. They were sent to school. They came back. They become integrated in the system, and they are useful products and citizens of Nigeria. That also aspect can be looked at in terms of the North. Most of these bandits have not had the opportunity to go to school, have not had the opportunity to actually enjoy what we ordinarily do in the cities.
Now, from these two clips we just watched, the first one was took place in Zamfara State. Zamfara State is one of the states in Northwest geopolitical zone. Okay, now that was an event where 200 orphans were were married off in a mass wedding. Okay, let's take note of the fact that what that event that took place in Zamfara State is a common occurrence among the far northern states in these two northern regions that we are focusing on, the northeast and the northwest. Okay, is a common occurrence whereby orphans, people, either widows and others are married off in a mass wedding. Okay, so looking at that program, it will look as if on the surface it looks welfareist. It looks as if the government, like what they said the speakers, the governor's wife and the other speaker, what they said is like a rescue program helping the people. It looks so on the surface, but when look deeply, you will realize that no, in the long run, it's not an empowerment program. Okay, it's not an empowerment program because these people, some of them are being forced into an adulthood that they were not prepared for or that they are not prepared for. And in the long run, they will go ahead and produce children that we will not be able to cater for. Before you know it, they will send them into a program that is common in the north that is called the Amajiri system, whereby children are put under a certain Islamic teacher that will be teaching them Quran, and he will be the one they will be fending for themselves. After some time, after a couple of years, those children will go on their own, thereby providing a ready horde or army of, of recruits for all these criminal elements. All right. So, by so doing, the northern leaders are one way or the other, directly or indirectly, consciously or unconsciously, encouraging or creating a fertile ground for criminalities, for criminal elements to thrive in their society. Instead of organizing all these public marriage, I mean a mass wedding, why not send some of these children to school? Some of these orphans, send them to school. Those that may not want to go to school, send them to do to learn one skill, one trade or the other, in order to make them productive member of the society in the future. Now, look on the other video, the man that was interviewed on Arise TV is the Arewa Consultative Forum chairman. Arewa Consultative Forum is an organization that covers the entire North, a social-cultural organization that covers the entire North. He was asked if, or the anchor there, the interviewer, Joy Okwe, or Okwe, made a statement of some northern leaders allegedly negotiating with terrorists, and that does he think that instead of that total military solution should be used in eradicating those criminal elements. And he responded, I mean the chairman now responded diplomatically by trying to draw a comparison and similarities between these criminal elements, these groups in the north, in the far north, with the then Niger Delta militants who happened to be fighting for more resources, for more access to the resources in their society. Because in Nigeria, even till today, over 80% or the bulk of the crude oil which generates most of Nigerian foreign exchange comes from the Niger Delta. And these people picked up arms against the Nigerian state, which I don't support. I don't subscribe to non-state actors picking up arms against state actors. Okay, I'm a Christian, I'm a born again Christian to the glory of God. I don't subscribe to such. Okay, even my personal conviction, I don't subscribe to any form of violence. So I'm not that I'm justifying the Niger Delta militant picking up arms against the Nigerian state then. No, but I'm just saying that the cause they fought for seems justified because they were asking for more access to, I mean, for more economic empowerment because of the resources that is being gotten from their region. Okay, and in the long run, they were called to the round table negotiation and solution. Some of them were given amnesty and all that, training, and they were reintegrated into the society. This chairman was calling for similar treatment to be given to these people in the north. But the question is, what are these elements in the north fighting for? We have we have the Boko Haram who are fighting against Western education. We have the ISWAP, right? Islamic State of West African province fighting for Islamization of maybe the north or by extension Nigeria, which is against the constitution of Nigeria because Nigeria is constitutionally recognized as a secular state. Everybody is free to practice their religion. Okay. Then what about the ones that are engaging in kidnapping? Those are illegal activities. Kidnapping school children, disrupting their education, or the herdsmen and farmers clashes. What is their cause justified for them to be given amnesty? Are those, for them to be given amnesty trained by the Nigerian state? I don't think so. So we can see again that somehow that statement by the Arewa Consultative Forum could be a way indirectly or unconsciously on his part, encouraging these people because if these people are, treated in that manner, there is high tendency that more criminal elements who have been radicalized, who have been indoctrinated from small, will want to pick up arms because they will believe that they will be, brought to the round table and perhaps empowered economically. So that was what the Iowa Consultative Forum did there, was more or less like what is called force equivalence. Force equivalence. All right. So the northern society, their elites, as the government at the federal level is fighting against terrorism, expending a lot of state resources, scarce resources to fight these criminal elements in order to protect Nigerians, to protect our children, our girls, to make them go to school. The society where this problem is really affecting the most, they should also engage in activities that discourages, the growth of criminalities in the future that could lead to, the multiplication of criminalities in the future, right? So, as I will be concluding, I want to conclude here by saying that calling on Nigerians, every Nigerians, whatever platform you have, legal platform, we should all be speaking up against these problems, this problem of insecurity, especially in the north, as it affects the education of our girls, of our children, because a society that does not have a solid base of education, we find it difficult to progress. Nigeria in this age of artificial intelligence is still struggling to provide constant and stable electricity. So we shouldn't be expending resources that are, scarce state resources, scarce government resources that are supposed to be used that the government is supposed to use to provide critical infrastructure that will help our country to grow, to go and be prosecuting war. A war that doesn't really make sense to me because I don't see what those criminal elements, I don't see the cause that they are fighting for. Okay, so please, whatever you think, whatever your thoughts are, please drop it in the comments. I don't want this video to be too long. Drop your thought in the comments. And if you find this video, if you like this video, if you like this content, please subscribe to the channel and like our content. Click on the notification button so that you get notified when next we drop further videos. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.